Hey Libras, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be taking a look at your May general reading here. So in the meditation, I saw immediately an elephant. However, it feels important to distinguish this kind of elephant that I saw because it felt very much like an elephant, the kind of elephant that you would see in like a children's book. The way it almost felt illustrated in a way, sort of like Winnie the Pooh. Meets Madeline, or it was like this illustrated, really lovely elephant. And I saw it standing on a cliffside overlooking like a very large city or town. And I saw it being lifted up above that town on this like it was very whimsical, whimsy being like the word that comes to mind, very whimsically being lifted above this crowd, and I felt like a weight was being lifted. Is I feel like rather the point with this for you Libra for May. It feels like there's a weight that's being lifted. There's a lightness of being, and I also saw the words high expectations, but it felt not like a negative thing. Like, we say we can, set ourselves up for disappointment when we have expectations and, approach everything from a place of non-attachment, all that good stuff. But this high expectations felt just right. There's something about that phrase, high expectations, but in a very positive way. Lastly, there was this very distinct feeling of like childhood. I want to take it to like children or childhood or children's stories where sort of the best part about childhood, right, is that children have this ability, this freedom, right, of existing in the given moment that they're in. They have a way of embodying the present that like we just lose over time as we grow into adulthood and we, the world gets its hands on us and we have responsibilities and all the rest of it. So it just feels like this beautiful weight is lifted and there's this beautiful sense of being able to breathe, being above something, being able to see the bigger picture. And then also elephant energy or medicine is very much a gentle remover of obstacles. So I feel like your path is being cleared this month, Libra, and I feel like you're going to be able to feel it. And I feel like it's very much like like a deep sigh of relief, or like, woo, I did that. It's not just feeling relieved, it's feeling accomplished, or like you're feeling really good about how you came through something, how you closed out a certain cycle, or about your response, the way that you were in a certain experience. But it feels very positive. It feels very light. So let's go ahead and see what your cards have to say. Hey Libras, let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is for the month of May here. First half of May. Let's go. Oh my God, it's so okay. Really? Were we not talking about a lightness of being? And then we have the hummingbird, which they are lightness personified. So this is so perfect for you, especially for Libras in particular, as you guys are air signs, of course. Whenever you get a animal of your like element, as in the hummingbird, also an air animal, that is always a very auspicious nod to the time frame that we're looking at. So I love this for you already. So okay, what's really great about this as well is that on one hand, hummingbird medicine is about joy, about the present moment. That's why it's so perfect with that, aspect of childhood, or allowing yourself to embody the present in a, newly realized way, in a way that feels like a relief. So maybe you haven't been able to do so, or maybe you've been feeling a bit bogged down, or a heavier weight of things. But this definitely feels like a lightening of the load in some way, shape, or form. There's also an aspect of hummingbird energy that is directly related to romance, your romantic relationships. But this is also about, and I always got to say, because it's always true, because as we know, that true love starts with yourself and then goes out and expands to those around you, right? So hummingbird is about the love that you have within yourself that is so full and so pure that you share it with others just naturally, right? It's not a lot of hard work. It's just the love that you feel. Others enjoy it just by being in your presence, right? Because it's something that you embody, which is really brilliant. Also, hummingbird equates to the Page of Swords and the Tarot, which is about realizations, messages, insights, right? But it's having that moment of like, oh, I see something a bit differently now, right? But what's really brilliant about this is that we're talking about this lightness of being, and then we have the Page of Swords here, which is also a child, right? In the court cards, right? That the page is the young girl. So this is really brilliant here that it's coming up in this way. This young, light, innocent, wonderful present moment embodied delicious energy coming through for you guys. Also, the hummingbird also is a very light animal, beats its wings really quickly. It's such a beautiful portrayal of what this feels like for you, right down to the rainbow colors, right? Because that's what it feels like up in the sky where the rainbows are. Childhood. It's really beautiful. So let's go ahead and see what your cards say for the month of May, for the merry month of May. Oh my God. Oh, it's so nice. Okay. So here we have the Buddha Prepares. So this is really brilliant within this deck. So I'm using the Akashic Tarot today for the primary keys here. And the Buddha Prepares is so wonderful because, first of all, I just need to point out the children here. Can you see that in the foreground? The children back here. So definitely something about childhood or children coming in here for you. The Buddha Prepares is so brilliant because this is very much about preparedness, waiting, patience. This Buddha is not going to move, or this monk rather, this Buddhist monk is not going to move before he is absolutely ready to move. He's not going to move an inch until it's the exact right time. Now, what I'm really drawn to in this key with this is that all of these people behind him are in the vibe, right? They're completely cool. No one looks completely impatient. Why? Because they're in the present moment. There's something about this coming up for you. But this really shows a certain vigilance, but like a light vigilance, not like a hard-won vigilance, but this feels like a lightness, a certain vigilance around knowing that everything is going to happen in its own time. The effort that you put in will pay off. And it's about understanding that, all you can really do is follow your own instinct, your own personal guidance, and really go about things in a way that feels like it's aligned with your integrity and what feels right for you. And then the benefits of doing that are just monumental. They really are. When you're operating from a place of just like, inward divine timing, there's really something to that there's a big benefit from it. So it feels really beautiful. The Buddha Prepares. Patience, waiting, timing, purposeful action, right? It's really nice. But this does show an aspect of just like, chill. Now I also have to say, the fact that we saw the elephant and then we have the Buddha Prepares here as well, there's an aspect of this as well with the elephant that is very auspicious, right? It's a very auspicious animal. It's also a sign of good luck and good fortune. So I want to mention that as well with the elephant. Oh, this is so nice. I'm so here for this. By the way, you have two major arcanas now because these are the majors in this deck. So I'm here for it already. So the light of the world. Can we just take a moment to appreciate? Because we definitely have this man here who feels like the hermit to me with the lantern knocking on the door. And then we have this guy in here. Can you see that? With the little cat kind of looking down here. And then the guy at the door is like, hello. Now, I want to draw a parallel here. Do you remember the elephant in the Kim Kranz deck has a bit of fire at the base of its trunk, and then we have fire here as well. So there's something about the fire of transformation and that kind of energy, that build-up energy coming in through too. Back to the lantern. Also in the Kim Kranz deck, the elephant equates to the hermit in the tarot. So there's some themes coming through here for you in a really beautiful way. So the light of the world really speaks of, an impetus or a responsibility on your part, right? On the part of the collective, on your personal part, and your community's part, whatever that is for you, to really share the best of you with others. Right? The kind of the tagline of this key is like, you are not here to hide your light under a bushel. That is not it. That is not why you are here, right? Also, Libras, you guys really, really do thrive when you're in alignment, right? You guys really do thrive in social settings or in a way, and it doesn't necessarily mean like huge social settings, but you thrive when you're able to be around those that you really vibe and click with, that you feel like you share a certain understanding. So this is really beautiful that this is coming through here like this and saying like, you know, if you do feel like you've been in a place where you haven't necessarily been as, you know, out or sharing of what's going on with you or being willing to step into the light in some way, shape, or form. This could be, you know, a shyness around sharing your work, a shyness around moving forward with something, a timidness or a fear around something moving forward in a way that puts you in a position of vulnerability or risk, right? This is saying like, okay, it's about to be time. And what's really interesting about this is that we have the waiting and the patience here with the Buddha, and then we go to the light of the world with the knock, knock, knock. It's about time. We go from waiting and then a knock on the door. And this is the moment before he answers it or doesn't answer it, right? So this is really interesting. Also, the color orange feels important because we have an orange tabby here, and then we have this orange cloak. Now, orange is the color of the sacral chakra, right? Which is about our sexuality and our personal relationships in that way as we come from them in a physically embodied place. But that's also, you know, how we sort of experience. It's similar to the sacral, but how it differs is like it's about how we experience things from like a visceral place, right? But it's an inward thing. It's like how we churn and how we sort of embody our sort of instincts and how we relate to other people in our relationships, you know, through a more kinesthetic sphere. So that's coming in for you as well. Also has to do with confidence, right? And that's what kind of links it. Confidence links the sacral to, or the sacral to the solar plexus chakra, which is interesting as well because we have the yellow. So both of those it's yellow and orange. You see all the yellow and orange here kind of coming in for you with the sacral and solar plexus chakra. So also, I feel the need to speak about this. The solar plexus chakra is also the chakra from which you experience the world. So if that is clogged, if that is not being cleaned, if that is not working in its highest and best form, then that might manifest as you know, feeling a lack of confidence or feeling like you don't have everything you need to be successful or move forward, or I won't know what to say, or I won't know the right move to make, or I won't know how to handle this, or I won't know what to do if this happens, right? When that chakra is really fully cleaned and in working order, as it were, then you just, it sort of manifests as that deep knowing of like, I know I've got this. I may not know exactly how things are going to go in terms of the details or whatever have you, because you can't predict other people's movements, but I do know that whatever comes, I've got this handled. And that's when you know that yellow solar plexus chakra is in good working order. So there's something about that for you as well. I'm also having a very strong deja vu right now. So that could be for somebody as well. Deja vu is also a really great indicator, from the universe that you are where you're meant to be and to keep going in that direction. It's the universe's way of going, hey, I'm going to call attention to this moment, right? Or this time frame. So karmic trench, right? Fascinating here. So karmic trench is a lot about the patterns and choices that we make that are sort of framed or fueled by lower energy thoughts or self-sabotage thinking or old karmic patterns with the karmic trench here. It's the aspects of us that kind of go to those places of our learned patterns or the stories that we inherited from those places of pain and or fear. Right? This is not a love energy, the karmic trench. There's all, this like plowed land here, right? But he keeps digging himself into this hole. There's even this like lovely, is that a horse? Yeah. Horse here, which is a symbol of freedom actually. So it's brilliant that it's depicted this way, that he has to help him, but he's like, no, I've got to do this I got to dig myself into this hole. And with this key, you're really being asked to take a look at your patterns, right? In which circumstances do you react as opposed to respond? Really taking a look at those self-sabotage behaviors or things that you do. This could be so many different things, karmic trench, but this could even be saying yes to others and in doing so saying no to yourself, right? Because you want to be liked, you're a people pleaser, whatever this is for you. Libras, I love you, but I will say a shadow side of Libras, and there's a shadow side to every sign, is that Libras can be big people pleasers. It comes from a good place, but it's not necessarily a place of self-worth all the time, right? So especially with those 2 chakras coming into play here, I feel like that's coming up for you. You're being asked to kind of, look at your patterns and your behavioral systems and really ask how they serve you, right? That's really the question here. Oh, weird. On the bottom of this deck is the Hermit. We were talking about the Hermit, weren't we? Okay. Let's go ahead and get a clarifier for the Buddha prepares here. Clarifier for the Buddha here. Oh, coming out to play again. So here we have the Page of Swords here. If you do recall, the Page of Swords is what the Hummingbird equates to. So they're coming up here both together for you twice. So interesting. Remember how we talked about the Page of Swords was insights and realizations and messages, and then we have the Buddha prepares. So what I'm getting with this context is that this is meditating, right? And all of the insights and realizations and beautiful energy that come as a result of meditating, right? I'm getting a very distinct message with this. You have done all the work. You've done all that you need to do to get to where you're going. And I distinctly feel like you are on your highest and best path. And the only thing that is going to possibly impede you in any way, shape, or form is old patterns or old systems of belief, or any kind of self-sabotage behavior, or any lack of confidence. A lack of confidence can undo greatness. And I feel like that's really coming in for you here. I really feel it's a strong feeling of like you have done the work, you have prepared, you have shown vigilance, patience, you've done the best thing. Your integrity is intact here, Libra. And I feel like this for you is really about trusting that. Trusting that you put in the work, trusting that you put in the time, trusting that you've done all the things that you have in your ability to do. And it's really time, like with the Light in the World going in next year, to really go forward with confidence, right? It's really interesting how this is coming up here. Light of the World. Light of the World. Oh, yes! And this is what it is. 6 of Wands for the Light of the World. Let's talk about this. 6 of Wands is victory and public recognition and success. I'll just let that sink in. See, he's literally outside the door going, hey, like success this way. Hey, I have this big check for you if you just open the door. Hey, I have this big opportunity for you if you just open the door and come out. You are ready. And I feel like this is you as the Libra collective going, no, like I need to do this. I need more time. I need to prepare more. I need to rethink it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready. And then the cat's looking at you like, would you please already? Come on. I'm tired of listening to this. Like you are ready. Whatever. The 6 of Wands, by the way, Wands are about the work that we do that we're passionate about, right? Also our interpersonal relationships that, give us that passion. But this is about success and public recognition. Then with the B here, I'm getting an even stronger feeling about the work that you do. You are lined up for success here. And I feel like, Spirit is coming in to say, take the risk, take the chance, be bold, courage, favor, or what is it? What is it? Well, you know what I mean, like courage, what is it? Favors the bold, something like that. Fortune favors the bold. Thank you, good Lord. Fortune favors the bold. That's what this is. It's really about taking that risk and knowing that, you have everything that you need inside of you. Let's talk about this briefly. Oftentimes, and in my experience, oftentimes the people who have gone on to be incredibly successful aren't necessarily, just real talk here, are not necessarily the best at what they do. And they're not necessarily very good people either. But you know what distinguishes them? Why they're successful? Because they believe within every inch of their bodies that they deserve it. That they are worth it. That they're the most talented thing in the world. They have this gumption, this sort of like audacity, this daring. Like, no, I am fabulous and I will win. And then they do because they believe it. Belief is stronger than so many other things, more than self-doubt, more than any kind of like, these people don't even necessarily put in all the work. And then you have another group of people, which is what I feel like I'm tapping into for y'all during this time, that you know, a bit of an overthinker energy, or a bit of an aspect of like, I want to do this right, or I want to make sure that when I do take this risk or apply for this or try this out or have this conversation, whatever it is, that I've really got my ducks in a row. But really what it turns into be is this sort of delay tactic based in self-sabotage behavior, or really based in back to these, you know, this yellow chakra here, this aspect of the solar plexus that says like the seed of confidence within me is not very strong at the moment. So I'm really drawn to this tree here as well. And if I can just work on that, if I can just look at like what in me feels like I don't deserve success, or what in me is afraid of success, or what in me is afraid of being seen and recognized for all that I am and all that I do. What is that? What exactly is that? That's what the karmic trench is asking you. Because you have an opportunity here. I can literally feel spirit like gently calling you to the door going, let's go. Are you ready yet? You know what I'm getting, seeing in my mind's eye is in The Hobbit when Gandalf, you know, goes to Bilbo and is like, hey, like, it's time to take this adventure. I signed you up to be the burglar. You're the only person for the job. And Bilbo just denies that adventure. It's very much The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell, right? Where he talks about, you know, we deny the opportunity to get out there and break outside of our comfort zones and have adventure, take the chance, or risk losing, or risk being wrong, or risk embarrassment, or whatever it is, right? But the thing is, we serve no one, again, by hiding our lights under bushels and by not taking that risk. If you are here living in a human body, you are here to break out of your comfort zone, take risks, and quite literally share your light with the world. And this can be big or small. This can be within your workplace. This can be in your interpersonal relationships. This can be a lot of different things, right? But if you identify with an aspect of like, yeah, I know that I haven't exactly been as brave or as motivated around XYZ, but it's still on my mind, I really think about what it would be like if, then this is for you. Absolutely. So to clarify the karmic trench, this is really something. You have another 4. So we have 4 of scrolls and then the 4 of cups, 2 4s, right? Which is about balance. Now 4 of cups is really fascinating here because this shows a dissatisfaction with the way that things are, wishing things were slightly different, or a certain sense of boredom. So I don't really like that word boredom, but that's technically what this means. So I'll give it to you. But I just feel like boredom is a bit, you know, a way of saying like, you know, you're being a bit unimaginative there. Like, but the karmic trench with these self-defeating thoughts and habits, and then we have the 4 of cups here, which is a dissatisfaction. Allow the dissatisfaction in whatever areas of your life, whether this be you, your work, your relationships, where you live, how you live, your routine, whatever this is. Allow your dissatisfaction to enlighten you. Because that is the key. Whatever is the source of your dissatisfaction, give that attention and time. Really look at it. And then ask yourself, what can I do with this dissatisfaction? What is this trying to teach me and show me? And then go from there. There's a big answer for you, or series of smaller answers that line this trench within that question. What is the source of my dissatisfaction? Take it out, look at it, play with it, float above it like this octopus here, and really consider the ways in which this source of dissatisfaction, or this discontent, wishing things were different, wishing you had more of this, less of this, more time, less of whatever it is. And then really consider in what ways you can go about making changes to get yourself out of that particular holding pattern, or, you know, a sense of habitual, you know, aspects of like, well, I just always do it this way, or it's always been done this way, or this is the only way I know how to do it. Consider how you can shake things up and kind of turn these upside down, because we want to reverse these, right? And suddenly get like the elephant floating above the sky here, really understanding that you have access to this larger perspective and this lightening of the load. And I feel like that's what the elephant was about too, you know, with these like repeated hermit. And your major energies for this reading are the hermit and the page of swords, right? So it's really about introspection and going within and getting that information, right? And it's interesting too, because when we flip these, when the karmic trench is upside down and the Four of Cups are upside down, it's like a lightness of being, because look, the cups are being emptied of their water, right? And then if you look at it like, am I doing this? Okay. If you, I can't even see it. The dirt is falling away and then the water is being emptied. And this is dirt, you know, earth and water, which are two like elements anyway, coming out for a lightness, right? So it's a certain emptying of it. It's a certain release of it that I feel like wants to happen with and for you. And then as a result, there's going to be this aspect of like, whew, all right. And I do feel like there's, again, coming back around to this aspect of like being in the present given moment. Feels incredibly important with this as well, which is back to the Buddha prepares and the Hermit energy here. So let's go ahead and get an oracle for you, shall we? Shall we get an oracle? Oh my God, did you just get your key in here? I'm so obsessed. Okay. So you see those scales here for Libra energy? This is your key in this oracle deck. So I'm really obsessed that you got this for yourself. So the keeper of the scales, fairness, balance, that is Libra energy. That is you. Now, what I'm getting with this, first of all, you are the keeper of the scales. So I like this coming up. Very auspicious. When we look at this aspect of fairness and balance, I feel like this is directly speaking to this is the discontent, but this is also back to the karmic trench. What areas of your life do you feel like you are not getting back what you put in? Or do you feel like you have not quite reached your potential? Or do you feel like it's not quite serving you in the best way that it possibly can? I feel like for a lot of you, this is really internal. I don't feel like it's a lot about your external environment. It could be affecting your external environment in some way, shape, or form. But this feels incredibly internal. It really, really does. It feels like something within you that just feels like it wants to come into greater balance. But I feel like that is going to come on the other side of having these realizations, lightening the load, and allowing yourself to be brave and step outside of your box or your comfort zone here, right? But I also feel like the way that she's looking at this scale, there's this aspect of like, you are capable of a lot more than you think or previously come to believe. And it feels incredibly important to say to you right now for some reason. But this is very auspicious, Libra. I'm definitely getting a note from Spirit here to take some time to really look at how far you've come, all that you've accomplished, and then continue to go from there. Because I feel like there's a lot more on the other side of a certain pattern that's keeping you stuck, or a certain limited thinking, or a certain self-perceived limitation that it feels like a work of the past and fiction that isn't necessarily rooted in your current reality. Maybe it's where you've been, but it's not where you are. You've done the work, you've come a long way. So acknowledge that, allow yourself to be Bilbo and go on that adventure. Okay? Whatever that looks like for you. With that being said, Libra, I am wishing you a very happy and most blessed first half of May. Thank you guys so much for being here. And as always, and most of all, of course, thank you for being you, and be well. Until next time.